Hi! In this video, you are going to learn about tener que to talk about things that you or other people have to do. So let's start out by looking at some examples here. Here's an example with yo, the yo form, tengo que limpiar, I have to clean. Here's an example for someone else, mi mamá tiene que barrer, my mom has to sweep. Okay, so let's look at all of the forms and how you create phrases using a form of tener plus que. All right, so I have to, yo tengo que. You have to, we have the informal and the formal. So tienes que is the informal, and tiene que is the formal. So you have to, in the informal, tienes que, formal, tiene que, he or she has to, él or ella, tiene que, always the same as usted, right? We have to, nosotros tenemos que. And then you guys, if I'm in Spain and I'm using the vosotros form, I'd say tenéis. Okay, don't forget the accent mark there. If I were in Mexico using the ustedes form, I'd say ustedes tienen. Okay. And they have to, ellos or ellas if it's a group of girls, tienen. Okay. All right, so there are all of the conjugations and all of the forms, but that's only half of the phrase, right? I have to, you have to do what? So the second part is we are going to add another verb in the infinitive. What do I mean by the infinitive? I mean that it's not conjugated. We haven't taken off the AR or the ER or the IR and added any other ending. We're just leaving it here in the infinitive form with the AR or the ER, or I don't have any IR verb on here, but the IR, if it's an IR verb, just intact, non-conjugated. So for example, so cocinar means to cook, estudiar means to study, barrer means to sweep, limpiar to clean, poner la mesa to set the table, lavar to wash. So if I wanted to say I have to cook, tengo que cocinar, leaving cocinar in that infinitive form. Or we have to cook, tenemos que cocinar. You have to study. If I'm being informal, talking to a friend, tienes que estudiar. What about we have to study? Tenemos que estudiar, right? So we're using a form of tener, like tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tenés, tienen, plus the word que, plus a verb in the infinitive. So let's take a look at some examples. Here's our first one. Antonio, and Antonio has to cook. Antonio's would be a he, right? Él. So we're going to say tiene que. And then cook, leaving it in the infinitive, cocinar. All right, my sister and I have to clean. My sister and I would be we, so we'd use the nosotros form, right? Tenemos que. So mi hermana y yo tenemos que. And then we're going to leave clean in the infinitive form, limpiar. Okay, a couple more. Los estudiantes have to study. Los estudiantes would be they, right? We're talking about more than one student here, the students. So they have to study. For los estudiantes, we're going to use the ellos or ellas form. So tienen que. Los estudiantes tienen que. And study, we're leaving in the infinitive form. So tienen que estudiar. All right, one last example. You have to sweep. So, and this is the informal. We're going to say tú tienes que. And sweep, we're leaving in the infinitive form, barrer. So, B. Alrighty, so we have looked at how we form this phrase to say what we have to do, and we've looked at some examples. So down here, write a very brief summary, just 2 to 3 sentences of what you learned about tener que. Adios.